This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening. A major U.S. city was effectively shut down today. Tense moments as violence flared up in a confrontation between extreme right and left-wing groups. This was the scene in downtown Portland, Oregon. A massive police presence to keep the peace between the warring factions. The city had been planning its response for weeks, bracing for the worst. And now the president is weighing in. NBC's Steve Patterson is in the middle of it all. Steve.
Yeah, Jose, this was a protest on the waterfront here. The police did a good job of keeping those two groups separate as protesters went on into the night.
Tonight, protests erupt in Portland. Clashes between right-wing agitators and left-wing anti-fascists spilled out onto the streets. The conflict started when hundreds of right-wing protesters assembled for a non-permitted rally on the city's waterfront.
They're targeting us because it's a liberal city with progressive values, and they know they'll get a rise out of us. Then they vilify us on the internet and make us look like we're the terrorists.
The event, organized by former InfoWars staffer Joe Briggs, was billed as a show of force against the city's progressive Antifa movement.
You know, look at it. We came in, we just did a march peacefully. We went in, planted our flag, came back out, and they're chasing us right now. I mean, it kind of shows you who's the thug and who isn't. Skirmishes broke out when left-wing Antifa groups responded.
There is no speech that can't be said in this country, so that's what I'm here for.
And you feel like they're trampling on that free speech?
I feel like they're trying to silence it.
We would love to hear your side.
There's no two sides. There's Nazi and not Nazi.
If you're in the street, you may be subject to arrest.
More than 1,000 Portland police officers were activated to keep these protests peaceful, but there were multiple flare-ups between the groups. Some even resulted in injuries. The president chiming in early this morning, considering naming Antifa an organization of terror, saying he's watching Portland closely. Tonight, another chapter in a history of violence, disrupting life for everyday Portlanders.
Steve, was the protest as violent as police had feared?
Yeah, you know, Jose, not at all. Police have almost done the job of keeping those two groups entirely separate, although most of the